Dobro jutro, Divine Pisces 222. It is Thursday, October 10th, 2019. It is the 10:10 gateway today. Also, just a reminder, we do have a full moon in Aries coming up, which is the Divine Masculine's full moon. And I'm going to link a video in my description box from K Moon talking about the full moon in Aries, excuse me, which I found incredibly interesting. So might help put some things in perspective for you guys. So, alright, let's go ahead and get this started. So first card out today, Jupiter. Jupiter is back. So yeah, Divine Masculine definitely at the forefront today. I do feel, again, coming through these awakenings, kind of waking up to things in his life that no longer serve him. A lot of them still kind of going through a dark night of the soul, but they are emerging here. Okay. I do feel a bit of stubbornness coming from Divine Masculine today. Now, this can kind of manifest in different ways depending on the situation, but it's more like a it's not really a bad thing. It's more of like he's like, how do I say that? Standing up for himself, I guess, is the best way to explain it. It's like he's really putting his foot down in some of these situations, putting up healthy boundaries, understanding the situations that he has been in or that he is in right now need to be completed. Does that make sense? So the cycles need to be completed. So he is kind of coming into this awareness a little bit more. It's like bit by bit every single day, but now it's like he's really putting his foot down and where he hadn't been before. It was like he had the realization, but now he's actually like telling people, no more. I'm not doing this anymore. Now, whatever situation that is, could be karmic partner, family, job, what have you, I do feel that they're setting those healthy boundaries. Now, it could also mean that he's putting up boundaries with his Divine Feminine, okay, which is fine. Divine Feminine, do not get upset about it, okay? He's doing it for a reason. Usually it's to protect the connection, honestly, believe it or not. So that he can finish doing whatever it is he's doing, whether it's, you know, his healing, his dark night of the soul, negativity. A lot of them are in very toxic situations that they do not want to pull you into, okay? So don't take it in a negative way, okay? So Aries coming in again. So again, just a reminder of this full moon that's coming up, the Divine Masculine's moon, you know, the strong sense of self and the realization of the self, and really coming into union within and understanding who they are, right? That passion kind of igniting, right? So understanding that there is a deeper purpose, there is a higher purpose for their lives, and that's very, very important that they realize this. So they are really kind of coming into that, and that you know, the issues they were having with like self-esteem and that sort of thing is lifting as they set those boundaries, as they proceed to close out these cycles that have been keeping them stuck in negativities and you know, self-deprecating sort of mode, I guess, you know, where they were feeling worthless, that kind of thing. Okay, so Divine Feminine kind of coming into, I do feel like more balance within herself and in her inner Divine Masculine, okay, because obviously we all have both. So I do feel Divine Feminine has been working on this for a while, trying to balance out both within herself, and I do feel, you know, this is actually getting a little bit easier for Divine Feminine. Also, understanding and recognizing triggers is getting a lot quicker, recognizing the triggers and being able to actually purge them properly. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I hit a trigger last night. Just came out of nowhere. I was getting ready to go to sleep, I was falling asleep, and then all of a sudden a trigger kind of popped up, and I was like, oh my god, that's a trigger. Like, I could feel like, almost felt like I was about to cry. It was totally random, right? And then I recognized what it was, and I was like, okay, this is a trigger. Just saw 444. This is a trigger. I got this, and then I purged it, and then I was fine, right? So really interesting. So I do feel that the connection is very strong today. Probably feeling the pull today. Definitely work on the heart chakra, guys. I do feel that some of you are having issues with the heart chakra. Divine masculines tend to be very closed off in the heart chakra. So definitely want to work on that. Kind of help him, so to speak. Okay. So feeling the back and forth, feeling the mirroring, I do feel very heavily today. Some of you will be getting communication very, very soon. Some of you have been getting communication. Those of you who have been getting communication, I do feel it's going to pick up. I do feel like a lot of you have been getting probably very limited communication, if any at all, and that is going to change very, very soon. I think if I remember, skipping again, hold on. Yeah. If I remember correctly, Mercury is going into retrograde. Okay, so communication will change. So depending on your situation, it may be more communication, it may be less communication, it might be silence, it might be actual like conversation. Okay, so it just depends on the situation, but I do feel a strong urge to communicate between the twins, especially with the Divine Masculine, right? And again, you know, coming into balance, really balancing out both aspects within themselves. Both twins are working on this, okay? And I do feel, again, a lot of mirroring going on, big time. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I have the headache from hell this morning. It's really intense, and I feel really hungover, and I'm not. Like, I haven't had a drink in probably, I don't know, 8 months. Like, it's been a while. So I'm like, why am I feeling like this? So feeling ascension symptoms, probably Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, definitely going through awakenings right now. So I definitely would also encourage you to work on that third eye. I do feel some interference definitely for some of you. So definitely want to balance that out, okay? So again, connection very, very strong today, guys. Very, very strong. And take a look at Divine Masculine, see what's going on with him, and that did not take long. Yeah, wow, okay. Okay. So Divine Masculine working on his coins, working on his abundance, working on manifesting the material in his life in order to come forward with a stable offer. And he's been working on this for a while, which I find incredible. Like Divine Masculine honestly feeling like he's not good enough as he is. So having to build up this foundation to make himself feel worthy. when ironically enough, Divine Feminine would take him as he is. So so but he's working on that. He's working on his abundance. He's trying to figure all of this out, and balancing out his emotions, figuring out his triggers, figuring out how to control his emotions without suppressing them, right? And learning to set those healthy boundaries, and learning to balance out the spiritual aspect of this journey, okay? Because a lot of them are waking up to their spirituality. They weren't understanding it, now they're starting to a little bit, and it's kind of balancing itself out, right? So I do feel, again, a lot of triggers probably for Divine Masculine right now, but he's recognizing those triggers, and that's the most important thing, is recognizing the triggers. You can't really stop the triggers, but you can recognize them when they come, and then you can deal with them so that you can move on, right? So I do feel also a little bit of inner conflict probably going on still, that ego trying to come back in and really like mess with his head, so to speak. No, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. That sort of thing. Same thing Divine Feminine went through, right? And still probably goes through sometimes. Okay, so, but also understanding the role that he has to play in this journey, right? Understanding that it is divinely guided, and that he, basically took this on willingly. He's starting to understand that this was fated. This is something that he agreed to, and it's something he's going to have to follow through with. So really kind of coming into that understanding, right? And so a lot of them are just kind of taking some time to really figure out what their next move is going to be, right? Because whether, it is destined, it definitely is, but they do have free will. So they're kind of teetering back and forth, but they are figuring it out. But a lot of them definitely getting downloads from source, getting kind of nudged in a certain direction, whether that be by towers, triggers, people falling away from their lives, things falling away from their lives that, they were kind of holding on to, that they weren't releasing. So the universe kind of coming in and kind of nudging that so that they will release it, right? And some of them are definitely feeling, like no matter what they do, they're gonna end up, hurting themselves or hurting someone else. and realizing this, but still understanding what the decision needs to be. Okay, so they're just kind of in this decision making mode. They're trying to balance out everything, and as you do your healing, as you balance out your chakras, this is really going to help them balance out their chakras. Okay, I feel definitely need to work on throat chakra for Divine Masculine right now. Divine Masculine having issues with throat chakra and Two of Cups, or Two of Water right here. Okay, so twin flame connection, very, very strong today. Probably feeling the sexual energy, definitely very, very high. So yeah, probably feeling this pretty heavily today. I would say you're probably having dreams, you're probably having, getting song messages and things like that, right? Because he is trying to come into that Emperor energy, right? And he was trying to do this, for a while, and yesterday understanding that's where he wants to go. So he's still working on that. Still trying to figure out what to do next, working out the karmic situation. And I love that there's a lioness here. Okay, so definitely understanding that that's where he needs to be and is working towards it, right? Because his Divine Feminine leads the way here, right? And he's looking to her and giving her, or giving him that. She's giving him inspiration to do better, to grow his abundance, and to ascend, right? Because she's kind of stepping into her Empress energy and, doing her thing, and almost effortlessly in his eyes, really. So yeah, definitely on his mind, right? Definitely is on his mind. And I do feel the psychic connection very, very strong right now, so you might be getting telepathy, okay? Yeah. So I would say pretty emotional today. You might be feeling some emotions out of nowhere, probably. Alright, let's take a look at Divine Feminine. I'm using the Oceanic Tarot today for that. I was able to bless the cards so I could use them. Yeah. Yeah! So, Divine Feminine definitely stepping into her role. I do feel a lot of Divine Feminine stepping into mission, giving back to the community, lending their gifts, lending their spiritual gifts to the collective, but also to other things. Doesn't have to be twin flame related, okay? So this is very good. And I do feel, again, balance coming into play here, okay? Inner balance coming into play. Trying to balance out her inner yin and yang, so to speak, right? And is really understanding, again, that the happiness within is what counts, right? She's learning to come into her own inner union and learning that she doesn't need anything outside of her to make herself happy, right? She doesn't. She doesn't need any of that. She doesn't need to grovel. She doesn't need to people please. She doesn't need to sacrifice her own beliefs in order to make someone happy, which would in turn make her happy. She's understanding that it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. All that matters is herself at this point, okay? Now, that kind of sounds egotistical, but honestly, if you look at it from the perspective of self-love, the whole idea that you love yourself first and then you can love someone else, it actually makes perfect sense. So, because you can't be happy with someone if you're not happy with yourself, right? And that's where the towers have come in. The towers have come in to show her this. You don't need to sacrifice yourself to make someone else happy, because that's not going to make you happy. All that's going to do is make that person think they can treat you that way, right? Right? So she's understanding that, so she's bringing those cycles to a close, okay? She's understanding that these cycles must end, and I do feel Divine Feminines are definitely going through another ascension at this point. It's like constantly ascending, constantly moving. And I think it's a wonderful thing to see, actually. I'm really I feel so overwhelmed myself, and especially with like the creativity, with like, inspiration coming in and stuff like that. It's just like, you feel more motivated to do what you want to do instead of sitting here, oh, well, it's not gonna work out. I shouldn't even try, that sort of thing. So it's more of you got a little bit more inspiration, right? Inspiration and wanting to actually move forward, whether that be with mission or just with something that makes you happy. Maybe there's something you've been wanting to do for a long time that you hadn't been able to do, right? And you're understanding that the strength within is what matters here. And you're learning to basically stand on your own 2 feet right now, trying to break that codependency, be stable within yourself and be stable on your own so that you can manifest the things in your life that you want to manifest, whether that be the end of karmic cycles, you know, or growing your business or what have you, you're manifesting that, right? And you're manifesting this. Like, this is happening. Like, both twins right now are manifesting their abundance. It's good. It's very good. It's very good. All right, so let's get some messages from the counterparts today. And I will say, I find it incredibly interesting. I had another epiphany last night that, like, you know, I've been kind of smoking again. Need to quit, and I've been trying to quit, and it's just, you know, things have been really stressful, and I finally had an epiphany last night. I'm like, well, maybe if I cut out my codependency crap, Divine Masculine will follow and cut out his. So, I will be quitting. So, again, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to put them up here. We got a lot. Learning the triggers. That's what that is. Stop asking this question. Sexual energy, man. Alright, so let's get some messages and advice for the twins today. Oh, love that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I find this incredibly interesting that stability is the first one out. So, yeah, stability is definitely needed, and you're working on this. You're working on this. Divine Feminine, I feel, is definitely further along with this, but Divine Masculine is working on it, okay? He's getting help, okay, from Divine Feminine, from the universe, right? And I don't like the soulmate label necessarily, but in essence, you know, this is a fated connection, right? This is a fated connection. Some of you may, of course, have a soulmate coming in, or, you know, dealing with a soulmate, okay, and that's okay. That's okay. Those are lessons that need to be learned, okay? Don't be afraid to have fun. Again, children coming up, so, yeah, some of you definitely are dealing with children, and that's a block in the connection. Obviously, though, you know, the children, they're going to be fine. You know, I think people worry about children, but children are very, very resilient. But also, this signifies to me inner child work. So some of you still needing to work on that inner child work, okay? Okay? And if your counterpart's coming in on, you know, actually genuinely wanting a second chance, up to you which way you go. Okay, but also give yourself a second chance, okay? Because, what? It all happens for a reason, right? And don't forget to set your boundaries. And again, Divine Masculine is probably doing this right now. Divine Feminine definitely doing this in her life. I do feel that's happening. Setting up those boundaries, not putting up with crap anymore. And that's exactly what you need to do. So, alright guys, well thank you so much. I hope this has resonated. If it has, please like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.